Bird, 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 bird! Get him, yeah! Ron Babe was right. Ron Babe was right.
I'm feeling spry. Hey everybody, I'm doing this intro just because it's nostalgic. It is the 15th of September here in Michigan, and that is the traditional grouse opener. Now, did I go out this morning? No, I'm packing up my truck for a bigger trip here. On Thursday, I'm going to head out to the Dakotas, but it's a special day. And I went up and got my oil changed up at the Dodge dealer, and one of my service guys up there that I talk to all the time, he's got grouse on it. He put up 2 grouse today on his piece of property. It sounds like things are going to be good. And when you hear this podcast that I do with Luke and Connor and Chris and Scott, it's I think we're in for a good season. I've never had a bad season. I've had seasons when I didn't get a lot of birds, but I don't call it a bad season. But it's here, okay? Yeah, the dove opener, yeah, that's some shooting. The goose opener, yeah, but now it's time to get the dogs out. September 15th, I'm going to be in the Dakotas. Oh, I'm just excited. The only thing that could be better is the weather, and you can't count on the weather for shit, you know. It might get a little hot. I've heard reports last week it was very hot, but it looks like we're gonna skate through that. Not too bad. Maybe a little bit of rain. So what? Nothing's gonna bother me because I have everything I need to go on this trip. Everything I need. I've got Onyx, not only the title sponsor of this show, is probably the title sponsor of my truck. I've got that ready to go. I've got my gunner kennel small in the back seat for Vivi. I got my intermediate for Tagus in the back of the truck, and it's mounted. I actually bolted it through to my permanent stainless steel kennels. So I'm ready with 4 dogs. Got my gunner kennel food crate. Got my gunner food bowls. I've got, the food crate, you know what it's full of. It's full of Purina Pro Plan. Just got my, I would say, I'd call it a 2-month delivery. Just came, what was it, Friday? It showed up Friday, just in time for the season. Now I don't have to call in and get any more dog food till maybe November. So the Purina Pro Plan is loaded into my gunner kennel food crate. It's ready to go. I found that I had a charger for one of my Garmin collars that was no good. What did I do? I called up Buddy at DU Supply. Yeah, granted, you can't call them up and get one for free, but I can. But you will get, when you need something, especially Garmin. But whatever you need in the dog world, go to DU Supply, get whatever you need, and they will get it to you. They have the most expedited delivery service. You've heard of FedEx? This is DUX. Oh yeah, I wouldn't make that shit up. I really would not. Canine Athlete, I'm running low, not for the dogs. I've got new dog. I put a little new dog in Itty's food. She's getting old. She's not feeble or anything, but you know what? I'm going to give her just a little extra boost. The rest of them are going to have Canine Athlete Hydrate and Recover in the water bottles. I'll put a little Canine Pro on their food at night. Just kind of keeps that gut in better shape. I got my Mossberg shock. I got my SA-20, which I brought to Virginia. And I'm bringing the Mossberg 410. And don't be mad at me, Mossberg, but I am bringing a shotgun with me that's just a little bit older than Mossberg, which was founded in 1919. This is an old Boswell that my buddy Bill Walters sold to me years ago. That's what got me on the double gun kick. And I got some 2.5-inch shells for it. I shoot that for romance, okay? But The rest of the time, I'll be swinging a Mossberg on the birds. I just got done shooting the Boss steel dove loads. No problem, no difference. You know, doves can be funny. You can hit a dove and think you hit it. It's a pretty tough little bird. It's not like a woodcock or a grouse. A grouse will go down and like, I quit. Doves take a little bit sometimes, and the Boss shot shell steels work great. But their new copper is out. I will be stopping on my way down in Michigan on Thursday morning, probably about 6 in the morning. The shop won't be open. They will hide a case of shells for me, and I'm going to bring the new Boss copper out to North Dakota. So pay attention. If you haven't gotten an email from them, they're limited right now. I think it's 12 and 20 gauge, but the new Boss copper is out. That fits perfectly into Mossberg shotguns. I already mentioned Purina Pro Plan. It's stuffed full into a Gunner Kennel food crate holds about 50 pounds. So I put a full bag of Purina in there, and then I had another little portion of half bag. I stuffed it. And then I got the little small one I keep in the kennel when I'm gone, just in case my daughter's dog comes over and there's some here for her. And that is full. I've got my marshwear ready to go. It's all I wear. It's almost embarrassing. I look like my sister-in-law years ago. I can't remember what brand of clothes she had, but it was on the leg, it was on the sleeve, it was on the back, it was on the front. I look like a walking billboard for marshwear. I got my Arxis boot pack because, not the Joe Furs. No, I'm bringing the tall ones because it looks like we're going to get rain quite a few days in North Dakota, at least the first week. And I'm not going to go anywhere without my Arxis boots. So I'm ready. The sad part is, unless I can stop by Watermark Brewery, or unless they put out like a couple cases of beer in the back in the alley behind the brewery, I'm not going to be able to stop and get enough Watermark Brewery beer to get me through it. But I'm having one right now in the kennel while I'm doing this. It's the best brewery you've ever been to. Best beer. Anyway, I think I got it all, but I do want to welcome a couple new patrons, Colton and Ethan. So you guys, appreciate for signing up. Whether you signed up to get a discount on marshwear, whether you signed up to get a discount on Canine Athlete or a Gunner Kennel, doesn't matter why you did it. You could just be philanthropic and say, I love this show and I love the content and I love the conversation. That's fine. Or, like many people when they first started doing Patreon with me, they got money off a Gunner crate. You can't get a discount on a Gunner crate or a Gunner food box or a Gunner bowl. You can't get a discount anywhere. I think maybe on Thanksgiving you can. But patrons can get a Gunner Kennel discount. I mean, all of you listeners can get a discount on marshwear. You know, HDP 15. That's 15% off, right? And you can get Canine Athlete is the promo code for Canine Athlete. I would say stock yourself up. You get 25% off your first order. Onyx, of course, I know you all have it, but you're going to renew it. I don't know if this works on renewal or not, but if it doesn't, I would use your wife or your girlfriend's or your husband's email address and re-sign up with the code HDP20 and save 20% on Onyx. But if you're a patron, like Colton and Ethan, new patrons, yeah, well, you're going to save a lot more. And on marshwear, you could deck yourself out from now till Christmas with marshwear. I'll tell you one thing to look at, their flannels. They are like a stretchy. I never thought I'd like stretchy material, but it still feels like cotton, but it's stretchy. Oh, it's so great. Anyway, you're going to hear all about the dove fiasco. I call it, it's not our fault. The doves weren't there. I mean, they were there, but they weren't there like they're supposed to be. But this is a conversation we had with my buddies in South Dakota. They had a great dove hunt. I talked to somebody in Nebraska. They had a great dove hunt. I talked to somebody in, where was it? Oh, come on, brain. Tennessee. No problem. Was it Tennessee? Or Kentucky? Anyway, apparently I'm the only one that didn't have any doves. I bought like 2 dozen jalapeno peppers and 2 bricks of cream cheese. I brought it home and made pheasant poppers. I dug out some pheasant from last year, which is a good thing to do. Get that stuff rotated. Don't let it go too long. Yeah, so I'm ready to go. You're ready to go. And I'm ready to... I'm just going to have another beer. All right, everybody. This is the official dove hunting podcast for 2025 September. You're going to get some news from South Dakota, and you're going to get a report from the East Coast over in Virginia. And today I got Dave Dean with me. He is an old buddy of mine from Michigan. He's a worn-out grouse hunter. And on the South Dakota side, Lucas, I'm not going to say the last name because I'll fuck it up. What is it, Lucas?
Lucas Swordine. Swordine.
Why don't you just put some umlauts over it so everybody's feels confused?
Dad used to put the pronunciation on his business card way spelled different so people could call.
He did it phonetically. Okay.
Yep, that's the word I was looking for.
And Chris, and I can't remember Chris's last name.
Swanson.
Oh, yeah. Connor, wait a minute. I'm going to fuck this up.
I've known him for like 5 years.
I know, and I keep doing it every time. Connor Mulhern.
There you go.
His dad, Steve.
Yes, sir.
So they Connor's dad headed out to South Dakota to bug his son a little bit and shoot some doves. And the three of you, the other three, are just like a Manny, Mo, and Jack of upland hunting and shit out there in North or South Dakota. But let's get to good news first. How was the South Dakota dove hunt?
Good. But it was very unique. You know, I didn't grow up here, but I lived in Dakota for 17 years, and I never put on a pair of gloves because it was cold outside to shoot doves.
Really?
38, 36 on Saturday morning.
We had frost on top of the bales.
Yeah, it was low 40s most of the week after opener. I think Tuesday, we opened Monday, and Tuesday on was, low 40s, mid 40s, and saw some 30s over the weekend.
Wind blowing about 40.
Chris was down in Nebraska, so 2.5 hours south and then west. Yeah. And they saw colder temps than we did.
Really?
Sioux City, just down the road, hit a brand new record for the lowest temps in September 5th or whatever it was. They set record lows. So,
and all that, and the doves were still around.
The doves hung on for the most part.
You know, we've been talking about it all week long about I think it's a combination because think about teal. They'll start migrating not based on temperature, it's on daylight. So I think it's got to be a combination of lack of daylight or decreased daylight with cold temperatures. And we're still in the first week of the season, so we haven't gotten to the daylight part of it yet. But they're around. It's just like, but we did see, I think, there was more 2 or 3 weeks ago than there are right now.
We definitely lost some locals. Like we were saying, if this would have hit a week later or 10 days later, we'd have lost probably 90% of our birds.
How do you guys set up out there? Like it's not like we do out here with these, like sunflower, basically manicured dove fields. Where do you guys set up?
No, primarily it's either wheat stubble that's been combined for a while, or silage. Corn silage just started coming out here quite a bit in the last week or so. Then they usually just clean up the spillage on the ground from that. So we're usually sitting in a cornfield, a wheat field. We hunted a pasture last night where they hit the ditchweed, the wild marijuana plants. They hammer that. There's quite a bit out there. Pretty much every crop had ditchweed seeds in them.
We treat it like waterfowl. You drive the roads, you look for birds on the road, you look for birds on the wires. Then once you see some out in the field, you get a hold of a farmer and you ask for permission. It's like scouting for geese, pretty much is how we do it. And it's setting up. We go from 1 or 2 guys to a big group, but we put out a lot of spinning decoys and flickers on the ground and all. We try to decoy them as best we can because it makes it a hell of a lot easier to shoot them.
Do you use like A-frame brines to sit in or anything?
Sit on a bucket.
You try to get your back against something to break up your outline.
Whether it's a hay bale or
you got a fence line or some standing corn or a bale or pile of weeds, whatever. Get something to. Yeah, but you could sit in the middle of a field if it's really good, and they come right to a little spinner. Some days they don't like them, but We don't do a lot of pass shooting, I guess is the way to put it.
I did.
Well, you can.
It was interesting. The so season opened on the first, which was last Monday. Last Wednesday, I actually just made a couple calls and made contact with the guy that grows he has an industrial hemp farm not far from my house. And well, we always heard we'd see the dove eating the wild weed in the ditches and down the valleys and all, but we got beat to the better spot in the field, but it's pretty incredible how many dove will focus in on those hemp fields.
Well,
Thousands and thousands.
is there a seed? I mean, when you said ditchweed, I was going to change the podcast over to another because when we were kids, somebody would have pot and somebody like, what is this, ditchweed? I literally haven't heard that referred to in marijuana since I was a kid in high school. Somebody'd say, this is ditchweed.
Yeah, it's got all the seeds in it, and that's why the doves like it.
Yeah.
Well, what do you tell us? There's two different plants he's growing.
So they basically, when they grow hemp, and we learned more about it that day we met this farmer, super nice guy. But yeah, they basically grow it for either the seed production, like you would say just corn, or they'll grow like a fiber version, which grows 8-10 feet tall, and they're looking for the stalks out of that. They're not chasing the seed. They don't even want it to put on a seed. They want all of it to put production into the fibers, and then they cut it down and they'll bale it up, and then they'll process the bales later. So the other stuff's 3 feet tall, 4 feet tall, and that puts on seeds, and that's where the doves go more because it's their favorite food source, as far as I'm aware, out here.
Yeah, and once you're in the field or in the crop, it's pretty clean. It's like being on a clean cornfield. So not that much weed in the rows.
I would imagine the doves like that too. They don't want to go down into something too deep or too.
They loaf in there. We saw them loafing in there.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they don't like anything too tall for predators, and just like their water source, won't hit a water source if it's got a bunch of tall grass and reeds around it. They want something with an edge.
Well, as Michiganders, we don't get an opportunity. We're one of the 9 states that feel it's a songbird.
Well, Ohio was that way for years and years and years, and they just got that approved, maybe 20 years ago.
Yeah. We tried it was like 8 or 9 years ago. They did it. Yeah. They opened up some of our southern counties and the people started protesting again and somehow got to the state capitol before MUCC did. And yeah, it was over. It was over in a year. It was over in a year.
So we breed
I
them.
gave permission from a guy a year or two ago, and I got hold of his number to get some dove permission, and wants me to kill every goose I possibly can, but he doesn't want me to touch the doves. He likes the doves, and I thought that was a little weird line to draw in the sand, but
Yeah. How about geese out there? Have you guys hit some geese yet?
Funny thing is, they're around. There's more this year than there were in previous year too. You got more rain, so there's more goslings, in the sloughs and all. But we like to try to hit the doves pretty hard because the season out here will probably be done within a week or two, the most. So we got plenty of time to shoot geese, so we try to focus on dove while we can.
Could you overnight some breasts of doves so we can have our
No, a lot of them are going back to Virginia.
and the peppers? We just don't have anything to go with it.
I'll send some pictures so you can see what they look like again.
Sure.
So around. I mean, it fallen off a little bit, but we had some real good days and some slower days. But my father Steve heads home tomorrow, so he'll be going home with a little side cooler with some breasts. Take back home to his friends.
Well, Steve, you could stop by the house and grab our cream cheese and jalapeno peppers. They're in the fridge.
Didn't need them.
How about that famous beer of yours?
Oh, well, I didn't bring any of that down here.
You didn't bring a kegerator with you?
No, we had too much shit in the truck to bring the kegerator down.
Well, what happened with your hunt? If you want to talk about dove for a little while.
Well, all right. So I've been coming down here since 2003, and probably in 2005, I met a guy who owned some properties and some farms. He's a bird dog guy. I helped him get a dog, and apparently it was a good dog because I always get invited to what I call a real dove field. I mean, same thing. All you got to do is sit on a bucket and break your line up. But, it's literally a sunflower field.
Planted for doves.
And yeah, and then I forget what they put around, sometimes wheat, sometimes sorghum, but they got to cut that down. I don't know if it's like 2, 3 weeks ahead of time or a month. They got to cut that. You can't hunt over it freshly cut.
No, I think you're allowed to cut it. Believe me, we're not a lawyer.
They call it manipulating the game. The game commission will bush hog on the state game lands. They'll bush hog down sunflowers or wheat or whatever, before the season starts.
Right before?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Just one of the things that for being a migratory bird, they have more relaxed rules with that compared to waterfowl.
yeah, okay. That might make sense. But so back in the day, Dave used to come down and work with me here, and I've got a 30-acre field behind me that's either corn or soybeans or something, but the corn's usually down early. And pretty much the whole month of almost the whole month of September, because they don't leave here yet,
Mm-hmm.
we could go out behind the house, grab a beer, grab a bucket, and sit along that tree line. And I mean, there wasn't a night we couldn't get a couple doves apiece, 4 or 5 guys, sometimes more. And it seemed like the same thing every night. It didn't matter, it was all pass shooting though. We didn't have a robo dove or anything. And I think they're coming back into these hills back here to roost, obviously.
Yeah, it's full of cedar trees.
But we always got them. And then I got invites to this guy's dove field, and he opens it up every Saturday to any friend or anybody who knows him. He also opens it up. In this case, Labor Day, it happened on a Monday. So they were, or in the past, it was nothing to get. If you sat there, not the whole day. He only let you start hunting at 2 p.m, which I want to kind of touch on that. Everybody was, a couple friends of mine that were here, like, why aren't we here in the morning? I said, well, I think they don't allow it the first season. Do you know, Steve, if they
changed that? It used to be noon, and then they changed it to 10. Now, I think after the first week, they can hunt
regular
at daylight.
Yeah. So I haven't done that, but we would literally get action from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. I mean, it just seemed like there's a lull here and there, like any time, but you were never bored. By the minute you were bored, you're looking for a chew to chew on, or a cigar or a cigarette or something, or take a drink of water. There they'd come again, And that wasn't the case this year, Dave, was it?
No, it's so freaking hot. I took my shirt off.
No, that's not on video, thank God. But it was just
Miserable.
it wasn't the heat though. There was just, I mean, if I had to make a count in my head, I did take 7 shots, so that's on me. And I will say 2 of them were just pokes because I was pissed, But the other 5 shots were at a bird. I'm not gonna. I usually go through. I'm into my 3rd box of shells by the time I get my 15 doves.
Mm-hmm.
But my best shooting's always when I got the robo dove out, all the mayhem's over, and it's late afternoon, because now those doves are just coming into the robos. They figure there's something to feed on there. But I mean, I'll bet you most of the people were pass shooting, right? You did. It wasn't coming.
Well, the one dove I shot, I figured with the license and the 6 shells I shot, comes out to $125 for that dove.
Yeah.
For
Hey,
3
cost me
ounces.
$180 for my license.
Well, it was 111
for
here.
airfare. So feel good about yourself.
You're still better per dove.
Yeah, at least you got to ride in my truck all the way down, so you didn't have to fly.
Yeah. The only one who had a good time on our dove shoot was my dog. She found 4 birds from other people.
Yeah.
She's never been dove hunting.
I think I told you about, my father and a good friend of a couple of friends, they started a goose club up off of a big reservoir in East Central Virginia a long time ago. And the farmer, they came with the idea to start a dove club. And so roughly 20 guys or so would all pay X amount of money. And the farmer would plant on a couple of different pieces of property, sunflowers, just like what you're talking about at your friend's house, And when we go up there, it's an organized shoot. We did that for years, but it'd always be good. But a hurricane might come through or something and get screwed up. But we never had a problem the opening week. They're always around.
Yeah, it was a real mystery. I know the year before, one of the guys I stay in touch with said it wasn't very good, and I don't know how much your dad was talking about all the most rain we ever had in Virginia, and they don't publicize that in the game regs. They can't do that ahead of time, but you know how bad a dove nest looks like. It looks like they're trying to balance two eggs on a stick. So of course you guys got wind all the time. That'd knock a dove nest out of a tree anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
They hit the evergreens and cedars quite a bit is where I usually, when you're mowing along the yard, you'll kick out doves nested in them, but
Yeah.
you must build a few that hold.
Steve, why did you go down to Nebraska?
no, Chris.
Chris is.
Chris.
Yeah.
Chris.
We went down, tried out the sand hills for sharptail.
Oh, okay. You went down to the Nebraska State Forest down there?
One of them.
One of them. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few of them in the area, but yeah, we went hit one and then some other public stuff, and yeah, it was a humbling experience.
I used to go to O'Neill, Nebraska. You know where that's at?
Yeah,
I used to hunt there all the time.
yeah, we were probably about an hour west of there, hour and a half west of there.
Well, so what's the report?
Everyone says grouse. We talked to said grouse numbers are good, but they had a lot of rain this year in that area, and boy, everywhere you go for 30, 40 miles, it's a sea of grass.
Really?
And them sand hills are they're not what they look like from the road driving by.
You ever see them from an airplane? I'm serious. If you look down, if you're flying west and if you're going over the sand hills, it looks like wavy water.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So consistently like
Yep.
sand dunes. It's just for hundreds of miles. It's just the same. I hunted it one time and I wore out a pair of dog boots in they were some cheap dog boots. Did you use booties on the dogs?
We did not.
You didn't get into any sandburrs?
Oh yeah.
Okay, forgot
We
you had German short hairs. They don't care. They're not smart enough.
Right.
We got sandbirds around here too. So I mean that's the cactus, you gotta it depends on the dog. My two younger ones, you pull quite a few out of them. My older dog, I never pulled one out until the end of the day, then check us for any thorns. But
So what was how many dogs, how many guys down there?
there was 3 of us. We had 7 dogs total. And we hunted 2 mornings and then 2 full days. So we killed up to 7 birds.
I was saying we're still waiting for the numbers.
Yeah.
And Rod sent a text a couple of about when did y'all get there?
Thursday morning we left.
So I said, hey, how's it going? And he sent me a video of his buddy Joe scrubbing his dog that got skunked. So that was the report for the first day.
20 minutes into the hunt, his poodle pointer found a skunk.
Nice. And I'm sure he just avoided it.
Oh, yeah. I think he tried to lick it.
I think he was successful.
Yep.
How'd y'all do with the Airbnb with the skunk dog?
Well, he had some kind of a skunk wipe. We wiped him down that day, and then when we got to the house, we donned dish soap, vinegar, and baking soda. Scrubbed him down real good, and rinsed him off, and it was gone. You could not smell it. So that combination works really good.
That's pre-made stuff.
No, we mix it ourselves.
Well, I know you can
mix
mix
it
it.
ourselves.
It's like a 1/3 ratio.
Yep.
I haven't used it
I
in
always
years.
carry
Yeah.
a skunk kit.
But Dawn dish soap, baking soda, and vinegar. Yeah, that worked great.
I was out here one time years ago, and I had a brand new young Springer.
We're in North Dakota, I think.
That was in North Dakota, excuse me. But my damn dog, we weren't 10 minutes into the hunt. He got it full on in the face and everything. And it was so bad, it just smelled like you were sniffing an ammonia bottle.
Yeah.
Then I said, well, you're not going to ride in the cab of my truck. So what the hell am I going to do? And I had one of those hard tonneau covers on that truck at the time. I said, sorry, buddy, you're gonna ride back here. They go down those dirt roads and that tonneau cover wasn't sealed very good. I thought our dog was gonna die of asphyxiation. I mean, it was,
He probably thought so too.
So anyway, you wouldn't call it a. Did you see more birds than you got, or did you miss more birds than you saw? What was it? Get to the bottom numbers here.
I only missed one. I mean, we flushed a few, but they, like standard grouse, they flush 80 to 100 yards away.
Yeah.
And they're up on those tops of the sand waves, and you got to look at every single one of them. And
Yep.
What'd you figure? 10 miles per bird is what you put on?
yeah, 10 miles per bird of what I had to bag, and 80 floors per bird was my average.
Did it get so hot in the daytime, or was it still pretty cool?
Temps were good. I mean, that was low 70s for highs. I mean, we had this cold stretch, down there too. So temps were really good. You could even, 2 of the days we hunted till 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
So the Doc, the one that doesn't, you're worried about heat with one.
Axel, yeah. The other two slow down. They can handle the heat, but
There's pheasants there in the Sandhills, ain't there?
I never. No, I don't think there's a
I
pheasant.
didn't find one.
I don't know. I mean, there's probably could be a pheasant anywhere, but I don't. It's not known for it. No.
We didn't kick any up, but they just, they're wet this year. The grass, even where the cows are in pastures, you'd never know it. I mean, everything that's grazed it looks the same.
did you run any rattlesnakes?
No, did not. Luckily, one porcupine. So
Did you get dog?
no, Joe shot that one too. The same dog,
So
just
he-
about got a porcupine.
You got the skunk too then?
Yep. Yeah, Joe Lesmeister. He found the extracurricular stuff. So
Well, you've talked to Joe, haven't you, from Minnesota?
Yeah, that's right, Joe.
Yeah, that's who he went with.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember I was listening to, I can't remember whose podcast it was. I'm like, I know that name somewhere. And then he started talking about you, Chris.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, okay, that's who it is. I know who he's talking about.
I told you he was talking about a guy who cleans a bird without tools by pulling them apart. And he was talking about me. He never seen
Right.
that.
Right. I never did post that video, did I, when I got you doing that? I still can't do that. Well, all right. So Dove is great, obviously there. I don't know what to make of it here. I'm gonna ask that landowner. He doesn't open it up during the week, but I'm gonna ask if I could just go sit out there and drink a beer, and out of morbid curiosity, because everybody pulls out of there about 5 o'clock, and by the time we picked up our decoys and what have you, there was a group of 3 teenagers, and that's when Dave's dog came in handy to go get the ones they shot. And I wouldn't call it steady, but they had a lot more fun in the 20 minutes I was watching them than I had all day.
Well, this question I'm asking though is, growing up, where we're outside of Richmond, where we did, is that we had some of our best dove shoots in the dead of winter, in December, and like around Christmas time. Does he ever get birds up in the valley around the winter flights coming down from New England?
I never have, because I was always just targeting, we're working here the rest of the time, and it's kind of the same thing. I guess I wasn't trying to think that they would stick around, but you're right. This is where a lot of them migrate to.
Yeah.
But we would start chasing geese here then. As soon as we'd see, and again, as soon as more corn comes down everywhere, then the birds got all kinds of little fields all over the place to look, and the concentration is in there. So we would start targeting the geese here in the valley.
Different season, that I know, but yeah, there was a late season in Virginia where one of the best shoots we ever had. It was 9 degrees outside.
Wow.
I don't know if it was early January or when, but it's weird shooting doves with snow on the ground, but we did it.
We got all these fat birds coming down out of Michigan and Ohio.
Right. They're a little tougher. They don't give a shit about the cold, but then eventually they got to go home. So
Yeah.
Do they split season there at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering how you
I think
counted
there's one
that
in
late.
October, then another one in late.
yeah, there
Still
are
so many federal days,
Yeah.
isn't it? Just like anything else.
Yeah.
Waterfall.
We did some in
migratory.
October too. It's like 3 different periods. At least it was
Sure.
back then.
Yeah. I know like Texas and some of the southern states are still that way.
I'm gonna have to find somebody in Illinois or Indiana to see if it was just us.
No, I talked to my friend in Ohio. He
Well,
said it
he
was
can't.
bad
Oh
there.
yeah. It's
He said, yeah, he said it was bad there.
It was bad too.
Yeah, no. Well, it's probably because all of our Michigan birds are still at home.
Right. I've seen some stuff on social media of a lot of guys going, "Where'd the birds go? Where'd the birds go?" They were here a week ago, and same thing. Fields set up for dove hunting, and quite a few on that east to south. We're going. There was 500 here a week ago.
Right.
So I don't know what's
There
going
were
on.
sunflowers that they always hunt that this guy plants, and he said there just wasn't the birds.
Yeah. I mean, now they did say they said they had a good shoot on Monday. No, but I don't know what that, he didn't. But in the
Right.
past, he's told me that kind of like you guys got to do, there'd be, the more people around the field, the better it is to keep the doves moving.
Yeah.
And I know a couple times he talked, we've had 300 or 400 birds on an opener with all the guys. So,
Mhm.
because he has,
Shoots this trip, well, it was last week here was when there was, what, 9 of us in a relatively small wheat field.
25 acres
Yeah.
with the
9 guys. I mean, we all shot each other a couple times, but
Yeah.
nothing serious, I hope. Nothing.
no, nothing serious. Just a little pepper in action. But I saw this morning. I was drinking my coffee. Tyler Webster put on his social media that they shot a bunch of doves way up by where he is in North Dakota. So they're still some north of us.
Yeah, I was up there in, it was September. It was early September. So Dove was open, but nothing else was open. I think Dove opens on the first there. And then
Yeah.
I think then Grouse and Huns open up on the first Saturday after that. But we were up filming up there and we set up on a place. We did pretty good we just wanted to get it on film just for some B-roll. And yeah, we had quite a few pokes at them, just, sitting by telephone pole. It wasn't, a fresh cut field, but
You got a light lines across your property?
power lines.
Like,
Yeah,
Wow.
I picked this side of the field for that reason alone. I thought, well, there's going to be a place for them to roost to come in, but it didn't work.
At home, you throw a fishing line with a weight on it up over the top of the line, and then pull your decoy up there and make it look like it's sitting on the wire. And it works. It really works.
So and it's not electric. You don't get electric. You're not like Benjamin Franklin looking for the.
Well, you're not supposed to shoot them off the line either. Too.
I was out. I was a couple years ago when I was out hunting my friend's ranch in western South Dakota. Go out with grouse and got my 3 pretty quick, and I was kind of just piddling around the rest of the day. I realized all the dove had not moved through, and they were all in the ditches eating the ditchweed and the wild sunflowers on the side of the road. I never thought you would bring any light shot with me because all I had was with high dollar 6s and 5s. So I didn't want to start blowing away doves.
You use 6s and 5s for
I
grass.
just use pheasant loads.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm on a fixed budget.
Oh, we actually seen some guys down in the grasslands down there or in the sand hills. They were out there with the dogs walking. I think they were path shooting doves. They said they were dove hunting.
There's a friend I've had on the podcast.
There was a lot of dove down in the sand hills down there. We've seen a lot of them flying around. So,
Well, a friend of mine that I've had on the show a couple times, he lives in Colorado and he hunts. He's the one who took me to the sandhills first. And he'll always hunt in the evening at those water stock tanks with the windmills.
yep.
And he said, I always get a little extra camp meat out of the deal. And I wish I had a little place with some water. I mean, there's rivers around here, but they're covered in trees. There's no way you're going to get a shot off or recover the bird. But I imagine the sandhill's probably chock full of them if, distributed. Not.
Yeah, there's plenty of ditchweed around them stock tanks, and there's plenty of cattle around cattle yards. Yeah. No, they were after day 2. They were looking pretty appealing.
You're walking 10 miles for a grouse, and
I had seen one grouse fly by in
we're
the first
sitting
2
on a
days.
cooler or a pail, drinking beer, shooting doves. So sounds fun.
So yeah,
Well, let's change the subject to something I'm better at. Or something I'm looking even more forward to is coming out to Dakota Hunting Labs.
Yep.
For the grand opening of
First full-time season, first year with the new lodge. Looking good. We just told you when we just talked before this, we just broke ground. Dad's out there working right out the window. He's retired, so he can do that now. And we're building and setting up for a new dog kennel with a bird cleaning room and all that just outside across the parking lot. So get that built up here in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully get it done. And
Obviously, you all are going to put in take an old grain bin and turn it into an outdoor bar.
Oh, I don't. Maybe eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, have some. We still got to do a little patio area and whatnot. That probably won't happen quite this fall. Probably be a next season project. But
They make really cool bars.
Mhm.
They cut the section out of the middle.
yeah,
Of them.
gazebo and basically.
Yeah.
No, we'll do something for that. Yeah, we just threw a fireplace out and kind of built some kind of almost like hitching posts out front, but they're big benches and keep vehicles from driving into the building as well. And
Well, that's nice.
nice little area to take your boots off and all that, or have a beer or cigar if it's you.
It will be. It will be.
Where
Yeah.
are you located in South Dakota?
So southeast part of it, about an hour southwest of Sioux Falls is probably the most known point. You know, we're 30 minutes from Nebraska, 30 minutes from Iowa.
An hour from Mitchell.
Yeah, an hour from Mitchell, half from Yankton. So we're pretty easy to get to as far as that of out of staters coming. If you're coming from the south or the east, you can usually shave a few hours off compared to going, you know, Aberdeen area or something like that.
I used to hunt in Linton, North Dakota. It's pretty close.
Okay.
to South Dakota.
Yeah, but it's straight west, isn't it?
You know, Linton's straight shot south of Steele.
Yeah, but that's
So-
the western end.
Yeah, you're on the east side of Missouri.
Yeah. The Missouri's 25 miles away from us, where it kind of borders Nebraska and South Dakota. Yeah, we're pretty far in the bottom right tip of the state.
Have you seen a normal amount of birds on the roads this year? I mean, it's time of year you'll start seeing more, right?
It has been the most in probably at least 6 to 8 years. We've had two basically non-existent winters. I mean, we got like 4 inches, 6 inches of snow all winter long. I mean, last day of season, we were hunting cattails and CRP was still 100% standing and ditches were standing. I mean, we got a couple of weeks of cold like we always do in February, but 2 winters of that in a row, basically.
Yeah.
So,
No, I mean, all the brome grass is still standing this spring in
Yeah.
the ditches.
it
wasn't laid down at all.
and there are broods everywhere. I mean, I got a buddy who just saw some that were probably only 3-week-old birds with a hen.
Yeah.
And I mean, so there'll be some young ones around for sure come opener. You know, they'll be the ones that are hard to tell. You hope they cackle and they fly away. Otherwise, it's a hen.
Yeah. Yeah. There he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody. That's an inside joke.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you guys didn't get any of that storm like they got up in North Dakota.
Any of that hail did you guys
No,
get
we-
hail?
Not here. There was some isolated stuff, you know, an hour north and a few spots had some tornadoes, but
There's a few isolated spots even just south of here, not far away, but
But that's pretty normal to have a couple
Yeah.
isolated hail.
One of the most positive things is that we've had a decent amount of rain. So when I talked to you a few times before about this, there was no drought relief haying of CRP this year, at least not much if there was any. So there wasn't, so people hunting public or just wherever, people were not taking off, you know, standing CRP, which, you know, all your bird slug cover and all. So there's more places to hunt, you know, better cover than there has been the last 4 years.
but we didn't have any flooding rains this summer either.
no,
You know,
we've had
just nice 1-2 inch rains every week from June on.
yeah.
And I mean, crops are phenomenal.
You can drive the gravel roads in the evenings, and I mean, it's just like every half mile you're kicking up hens with their broods or, you know, roosters, and they're starting to sit on the bales. There's so many of them. I mean,
Yeah.
you can drive around and find 20 pheasants sitting on a row of bales out in the field. So it's
That's you got me. I got a little the hair in the back of my neck. I'm
It's-
getting excited.
Ron can hit
But we're always optimists, but this year didn't go on.
it's
We've even seen some huns since I've been out here.
No kidding.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
seen 3 or 4 different coveys within a few miles of here since
Yeah.
we've been scouting for doves.
then there are 15 birds in a covey. There's about 3 of them right around the area.
Your dad, when we were driving back west or east towards going where I was returning to go home, your dad was coming the other way, the side by side in front of the lodge here. And there was a covey on the side of the road right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Haven't seen one here.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. They must have just slowly trickled their way into the area, and they're having some success nesting. I mean, they've always been around, but it was rare. You know, we'd see them.
Right. They weren't extirpated, but they were very, very small numbers.
I mean, I think I saw one back like in the, I don't know what year it was. We were up in around Lake Thompson. It was like, saw one covey, and that was multiple years of hunting there, and saw one to the point where when they got up, it was like, what the hell were those things? You know, it didn't click until a few minutes later.
You know? Yeah. It was a flock of meadowlarks.
Yeah.
It's about the last 4 years, it seems you'd start noticing breeding pairs in the spring. And I mean, a good amount of them. You see them more in like a bean stubble field when you're out driving around hunting field to field, and you really bump into them and CRP. But they're out there, and
I mean, there's a reason why roadside surveys work, because it's like over in Michigan. If you see a bunch of deer dead on a road, the same 30-mile stretch of road, pretty much means there's a lot of deer living in them woods, you know?
Yep.
And I remember years, well, I know you guys know, we've talked about it when I've been down there with you guys. I first started going in the early 90s. I think it was maybe 89 or 90, and I was hunting around Tyndall.
Yep.
And there was no non-resident hunters going to Tyndall because they're all going to what would be the good bird areas.
Sure.
And we never saw, we're from Michigan. We never saw so many pheasants in our lives. I went back through there, I think, was it last year or the year before? I took the back roads home, and I hit a couple of spots, and I purposely just took gravel roads all the way to try to get to the interstate 29, until I can get out of town. And I'd see 1 or 2, like just a few years ago. I was like, wow, there's just not that many birds around. But, like you said, the haying, the droughts, the winters, they always say it doesn't take much to bring them back. So
I was down on open day dove. I was down in that general vicinity, down your old stomping grounds. And I see a bird coming across the field. And I gave my gun ready to shoot, and something seemed off about it. But then it was a bobwhite quail flew right by my decoy at about 10 yards. And we hear them call every now and then, but I don't think I've seen one in years in South Dakota.
I seen a covey just right south of my driveway this year, bobwhites.
Really?
Yep. I turned around and went and took a video of them, and there was 15 of them.
And I flushed a covey on the January 31st, the last day of pheasant season last year, and a cattail slew, which surprised me. About a dozen of them got up, and didn't know what they were for a second. Same thing, you're not expecting. Especially, I didn't think they'd go into cattails that much, especially when all the grass was still standing. But
I think it's part of. I'm back home. I won't even shoot them because there just aren't that many. But I think they've adapted to going more in the woods. And of course we have woods around us, but that's where I really run into them. I'd be walking into a deer stand and something and flush, covey of quail. But again, they're precious few.
Are you lifelong Virginia resident or just long time living there?
I've been there 45 years.
Right. There was some pretty decent quail hunting. Yeah.
There used to be, there still is some wild quail down in the Tidewater.
Yeah.
Down towards Norfolk and Chesapeake and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But there is around where we live, again, it's like a rarity, It's like seeing a deer when I was a kid in Ohio.
Right. You told everybody.
Around one of my earliest, you kind of look back at your earliest memories hunting. I think the earliest one I had was probably 4 or 5 years old. We would dove hunting in the morning, and then we were walking for quail around the hedgerows around the farm. I was probably about 5 years old, but I do remember carrying them around my pouch in my sweatshirt. Yeah. So they did exist at one time, but that was over 30 years ago.
He was so small. One time we were hunting, and there was a creek. I could jump it, but he couldn't, so I had to throw him over it.
You do it still today?
No.
Well, when I was a kid,
it would take all 5 of us to throw him over.
pot calling
Did
killed.
my grandfather.
Yeah, I didn't say it. Well, the first part I did.
There used to be all kinds of pheasants in Michigan. We used to
Oh,
kill
yeah.
1 million a year in Michigan
Yeah, that was the
back in the
70s.
fifties. Fifties.
Well, you weren't
50s.
hunting in the 50s.
I was hunting when I was 8 years old with a dachshund on 410. There was
He's always the only thing he's made progression is he's got a Labrador now. That's the only thing he's got progression.
There used to be a fair number of pheasants when I was real young in western Ohio.
Yeah.
And western Ohio. But there's no pheasants left anywhere else.
Ron, do they do any of those public not put and take obviously, but I guess it is put and take.
Yeah.
Release birds in Michigan?
Yeah, you got to buy a $25 tag to hunt them.
Okay, well that's not too bad.
Certain areas that they're turning them loose again.
They're using
Pennsylvania now is charging $25 for a pheasant tag.
That's on a maybe,
Yeah.
But yeah, they brought that back about 5 years ago. They're releasing them on state lands. There was some flack from PF because there's a kind of like you said about the huns or the quail. There's a straggler that lives there, and they're afraid that you're going to take out the only wild pheasant.
Yeah.
So yeah, but they managed to keep it going, and I mean that's how I started in Illinois. It was all the state property that let them go.
Mhm.
I never had a problem with it. It was something for us to do as kids, and everybody had long hair and ponytails, so nobody's going to let you hunt their farm.
There's a guy, he owns a clothing company called Uplander, and I've seen some videos that he's filmed in southern Michigan. Now, it's not like it's a lot of them, but he does get some wild birds down there somewhere in there.
Yeah, they do over in the thumb area too.
Yeah.
Saginaw over in that area.
From Hillsdale over to the Thumb,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah,
There's still quail over there. When I was
a couple,
Yeah.
a couple.
in the 60s.
I'm curious, how's the rough grouse up in Michigan now?
Oh, that kind of comes and goes.
Yeah,
Dave's been shooting grouse in Michigan since he lived there.
but it's like a cycle. They cycle like every 9 years.
Oh yeah. But are the numbers up or
I don't know. We're getting a lot of that damn West Nile bird flu. So, it's
Yeah.
They were passing out, or they weren't passing them out, but you could get a little sample kit. They wanted you to do like a swab on the, I don't know where you do it, under mouth probably, or somewhere, and you'd send it in, and I don't know if they sent you the result. It was just more for data collection, but I remember Scott Goldman said he kept finding dead.
Yeah, they just go to nothing. No meat on them at all.
And he's in a pretty good grouse spot.
Right.
And that was 2 years ago. He's like, I keep finding dead grouse out. We can run our dogs until April 15th in the woods with no gun, and then we can start back up again the end of July. So he's always out running his dog, and he was finding on a regular basis dead grouse, which if they got eaten by something, they got eaten by something, but if they don't, you don't just normally find a dead one laying there. But I don't know.
Do they do audio counts for them, like the drumming counts?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do the drum and count. They do.
Do we?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't heard what it is. I know some counties in northern Michigan got decimated by the wind shears. There's a couple counties up there that pretty much not every tree, but stand of popples, they got an ice storm and a wind and an ice storm, and they say there's woods that you can't walk through right now up there that would be typical where you'd go for the grouse. So that'll be good for the grouse later. But I don't.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that or seeing some pictures.
I hunted up there in the UP a few years back, and we did. I would say, well, there's a reason why they count flushes and don't count dead birds.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But I was up there 2 springers and ran into a game warden. He said, keep your dogs real close.
Wolves.
Yeah.
What he means is damn wolves, they see that dog, don't kill it.
Yeah.
That kind of put the fear of God in me.
I probably told you, Ron, about when I was hunting up northern Minnesota for grouse a few years ago, and I was with my buddy. We were walking a trail up, not far from the Canadian border, maybe 75 miles or so, and he kind of tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Look up ahead." And there was two timberwolves standing on that trail. You know, we have guns and stuff. So we're not necessarily scared of them, but the dogs are there, so we want to make sure we get out of there. So we turned around to go back down to the split on this trail. And he looked over his shoulder, my hunting partner, and those two wolves were just kind of trotting behind us about 100 yards, just following us, seeing what we were up to.
And I bet you there was some more
Oh, I'm
flanking.
sure there's more around. But I was back up in that same forest, turkey hunting this past May. I filled my tag in South Dakota, and I didn't want to be done, so I went and bought a tag over the counter and went up there. And granted, I have no idea how to gauge it, but I heard drumming nearly constantly while I was listening for goblins. So it sounded good up there. I want to try and get up there again, give it another shot. But when I was up there hunting grouse, we had a bad snowstorm come in, and every tree you bump into, all that crap would fall on you, get soaked wet. It was miserable.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. There's probably about 10 good days of walking. It's either going to be raining on you, all the rain's going to come off the leaves on you, or the snow's going to come off the limbs on you.
And and Ozzy found no shore to grouse, but shit, I mean, it's like I'm shooting at a ghost essentially, without using a point on.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend from Texas come up and go grouse hunting with me. He hunted a half an hour. He said, "I'm too claustrophobic. I can't get in there."
Connor and I were up way the hell up in northwest Alberta. We were only 50 miles from British Columbia, and I don't know, 50 miles south of Northwest Territories. And we were moose hunting. We were coming back out with one of our dead moose on an Argo. And what was that? About a third of a mile, half a mile. I never seen so many grouse. I mean, and they were no more afraid of us than a blackbird.
Yeah.
And everywhere you went, there was just these grouse flush. It was unbelievable.
That's the kind you kill with a stick.
That's why they all hunt with 22. But that's where y'all got to go if you want to really kill some grouse.
Yeah, you got to drive
1,500 miles.
18 hours.
It was 28 hours from my door to where we went, one way.
I think I'll just drive to South Dakota and shoot some of your birds this year.
There you go.
Have to pack 2 lunches from Michigan to get there.
So Lucas, I mean, I know you guys are still working on the lodge, but are you booked up for the year, or do you got some openings, or what's just in case?
Yeah,
in case those people who procrastinate and go like, shit, I want to go hunting.
yeah, getting a few of those phone calls right now. Everyone's starting to think about it a little more with seasons opening up. So there is some openings, mostly after middle of November. I do have a couple gaps that I'm going to fill. Talked about the other day, we're going to do some small groups hunt. So if you only got 1 or 2 guys and they want to come up, because I get phone calls about that where it's just me and a buddy or me and my dog. And, most places don't want to book 1 or 2 people.
Right.
So we got some dates in October. Well, actually, right before you get here, we're going to hunt the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. You can either do 2 or all 3 days on that if anyone's looking. And then there's second half of November, the 18th, 19th, and 20th. And then a late season one, middle of December, 13th, 14th, 15th. So, yeah, basically just 1 to 2 people in a group, or whoever wants to come. You can bring your dogs. You got to be able to play nice with others because you're going to meet people and hunt with people and share lodging and all that. Just come make some friends, kill some birds, and
Late October?
What's that?
Late October?
The 22nd, 23rd, 24th are the October dates on that.
Okay, because I leave North Dakota on 23rd.
No.
Okay. Yeah. And then Ron gets in, the 25th or 6th?
Yeah, I think 26th. Yeah.
Sunday. Yeah. So.
And then we're going to have a birthday cake for me on the 30th, right?
Oh, if that's your birthday, sure.
You can play a chislet, put a cigar in it.
Yeah, what is that called? Chiclet?
Chislic. Yeah.
Chislic.
Stick. Well, you didn't even have it on a stick. Yeah.
Well, we had sticks available.
Yeah. We had toothpicks, short style.
We had toothpicks. That if we can have that in a couple of birds shot, I'm gonna be in heaven.
I think we can do that. I can probably get you a beer and a cigar. I'm not making a cake though.
All right, fine, fine.
I'll buy a pack of backwoods for you.
I'll bring some shriveled up jalapenos and some old cream cheese. We'll make
Yeah, we'll save some Dove in the freezer so you can remember what they taste like.
That would be nice. That would be really nice.
You guys make that wedding drink like they do in North Dakota with Everclear and cherry juice and burnt sugar?
Oh, not that. We do a hot apple pie, which is Everclear and cinnamon, apple cider and apple juice.
Yeah, it wasn't all sugar.
Up
Strip
there,
it into naked. That's our summer beers.
Yeah.
they call it a wedding drink. It's cherry juice and brown.
That's because a lot of people get drunk and end up having kids and got to get married.
That's why that's all for young people.
Right.
Yeah, never had that in North Dakota. That's been to a few weddings up there, but
Well, all right, guys. Listen, you guys had a great dove season. It sounds like we're going to have a really good bird season. When I say bird, the ones we love. I will be up there. Well, it'll feel like before you know it. And Connor's going to run up and visit us in North Dakota. Are you still coming up North Dakota, Connor?
So, was it the 19th? It's a Friday, I believe. I'm going to leave from East River, go out to my friend's ranch, north of Rapid City, hunt there for a day or two, maybe three, the third morning. And then I'll jet up to meet you guys in North Dakota. And I'll hunt there till whenever, probably till that Saturday, maybe not the morning, then head on back.
All right. Well, we'll have all the hot spots marked for you because I ain't walking.
So, let's hope you have put your good boots on because I don't want to just do some road hunting with you the whole time.
Yeah, do you guys got an ORV wheelchair for Ron? 'Cause
Get one of those all-terrain track vehicle wheelchairs.
he's bow-legged enough, but his knees are shot.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not getting any better. All
so
right.
you got a duck license. Are you thinking coming on the early side or staying after for that?
I got to see how that works out. I'll probably get in there. I'm probably going to get in there a day early anyway,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and more than likely on the back side of it.
Sure.
But I'll dial that in. I gotta get back from North Dakota to see how much trouble I'm in before I can leave for South
You leave
Dakota.
all the gas and the various straps and equipment in the right spots, or your wife doesn't call and yell at you in my truck again.
Yeah, that's you're not the only person who's experienced that.
The wrath of Sue.
Yeah, the wrath of Sue. But I'll get all my honeydews. I want to be out there. I don't want to just drive there and be there for just 5 days. So I'm going to have some extra days around town, around South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
Might go out and see some other friends out there. But anyway, just to reiterate one more time, if you're a procrastinator and you haven't found a place to stay, you may get an opening at Dakota Hunts and Labs. It's all you got to do is type in Dakota Hunts and Labs. I don't have to do a phone number. If you can't figure it out on the internet.
Yep, you can find us. Give me a call if you want to look at some dates, and I'll get those small group hunts. So I'm going to get them on the website here later today. So look us up. Check us out.
Is there a somewhat live calendar on the website, Lucas?
No, there's not. Just got to call me. So.
Just call. Okay.
Yep. Usually changing so fast, I don't like messing with it. But
yeah.
Yep.
Well, guys, hey, it was good to see everybody. I'm glad you had a good hunt. Steve, it was nice to kind of meet you finally.
Yeah.
So if you're down in Virginia again, come over and see us.
Yeah. I got a lot of work to do in this basement, so there's going to be some more trips come, January, February, March when we don't usually have a lot of people staying here.
Yeah.
You
I
got to
got
go up in the mountains to try to find a grouse one day.
Oh, dear God. You got to hang on to a tree with one hand and then tear your gum with the other.
That's no shit. That's no shit. I do have a friend here on the side story that I met. He was a mountain biker and he's in incredible shape. He's got these long ass legs and he consistently for a few years, now I haven't talked to him in a couple of years, he is pulling 25 grouse a year out of this basic area up to George Washington right behind me. He hunts both Virginia, West Virginia side.
Was he
And
in Bath County or Highland County?
I think Bath and a little bit of Augusta County that touches into it.
Yeah.
And up there in Brandywine, up in that way.
Yeah.
There's still, but it's the miles you got to put in. I couldn't do it when I got here, and that was 20 years ago.
Nothing
right.
flat playing about.
It's uphill both ways. All right, guys, be good, and we'll see you guys before you know it.
Yep, a few
You
weeks
bet.
out.
Nice meeting
Appreciate it,
y'all.
Ron.
See you guys.